This video is in response to a video I've just watched about a disabled guy who dressed himself up in a bear costume, popped himself on the street and held out his arms for a hug. The amount of people that hugged him were, well, most of them. But the idea of the video was saying that without the bear costume, he's unapproachable. People wouldn't sit next to him on the bus because his face is abnormal. Abnormal, well, what is normal for a start? But, it's perceived as abnormal. However, I was reading some of the comments and a lot of people are saying, everybody's equal, everyone should be treated the same. No, that person is no different to a person who isn't disabled. And I have to say that I disagree. Now, I know it sounds quite controversial to say that, but my reasoning is that nobody is equal. Everybody is completely different. That's what makes the world so interesting, so exciting, so spontaneous, is that everybody is completely different. No matter if you've no arms, no legs, you're black, you're white, you're ginger, you're Liverpudlian, whatever. Everybody is completely different. And the problem is that people seem to think that, racism is just about, not liking the colour of the skin and then going from that point and saying, well, that's racism. But, I don't think it necessarily is. I think racism is just basically the inability to be able to see people as people. Being able to just go in and just say, right, oh, this is Johnny. Johnny's in a wheelchair and he's also black. And the assumptions people make straight away are just incredible. Now, I'm half black, and I've had quite a few comments made in the past. I've even had comments made by future grandparents. I'm with child at the moment, who are talking about, I wonder what colour the baby's skin will be. I was shocked that was one of their first thoughts, was what colour the baby's skin will be. I mean, I don't give a crap. It'll be a baby, But for them, that was their deciding point of, what colour the skin will be. Will they have any disabilities? Will that change the way they are? And yeah, it will change the way they are, but it's not a negative because of that. And we should see things for what it is, and that actually there's so much beauty out there in every single person that if we actually took the time just to stand there and talk to them, our lives would be so much more enriched. Now, I'm not going to say that I go around and chat to every single person there is on the street. I don't. But I do class myself as not being prejudiced against anybody, really, and that I will give anybody the time of day. I make my decisions on whether I like a person and whether they're nice to me, whether they respect me, whether they respect my child, whether they respect their area. If they're coming out with utter bum, then no, I'm not going to like them. And they may be in a wheelchair, they may be black, but that doesn't mean that I'm prejudiced against them because they're in a wheelchair. But I think going back to the comments that I read in regards to saying that everybody's equal, no, we're not. We're all completely different. You wouldn't, for example, if there was a guy that was in a wheelchair, you wouldn't just close the door. You would open the door for them and let them through. But if that was just, another person that wasn't in a wheelchair, you would, if you were in a rush, you'd just leave the door closed. You wouldn't really care. Now, that's, again, showing, taking something and being in a different way to that person. So you've not treated them equally. But that's not a bad thing, And I think people accept that equality doesn't exist. Everybody is different. Some people are treated... Look at Steve Jobs, for example. He's been hailed as a king. And all he's done is invented a few little bits and pieces, but he's been hailed as a king. One person has died and you've got hundreds of millions of people crying and distraught over one person dying. Now, that's not equality, is it? Because they've put this person on a pedestal. Whereas you've got millions of people dying in Africa or all over the country nowadays. But I'm not about just saying Africa, a whole country, the whole world's in a bad state. But you got millions of people dying due to things that should be preventable. Are we crying for them? No, there's only a tiny few that really are. So again, we're not. people aren't treating people equally at all. And so people should just accept that we don't. We all have different ideals. What we find interesting, others may not find. So then again, we're not going to treat that person equally, so on and so forth. Now, I've always been teaching my daughter that everybody is different. Everyone has different opinions. Everyone looks different. Everyone acts differently. People may have disabilities that will hamper. People may, have not necessarily physical disabilities, but learn difficulties. I have difficulty with saying difficulty, but accept them as they are, to talk to them and to see if you like them as they are, because every person is different, and being able to talk to all these different people, you then hopefully can enrich your life and have a better understanding of what is around you. And it's still a tiny amount, isn't it? Even in our whole life, if we live to 100, we'll still only see maybe one part of the world, but at least it's something a bit different, isn't it? And you just need to be able to accept that everybody is completely different, but if you look at them, talk to them, your life will be better. Full stop. Bye.